Hey guys, so right now we're going to talk about the difference, or not difference.
Advantage.
Alright, we're going to talk about whether or not you should modify.
God. Here,
Alright,
let me
we're
start.
going to talk about whether or not you should modify your daily driver.
Don't even modify your car. Just leave everything stock. Modified cars suck.
Well, that's why, I think that it's a sweet spot for most people is, having just, a modified daily driver where it's, modified just enough that it's, retaining reliability, but...
You get a little bit more power.
Just turn here.
Yeah,
I looked at this, right on time.
About to start, taking grabbing my way.
That's funny.
For instance, we have a 2015 Dodge Dart
Just throw it away.
with a 2.4 and a 6-speed manual. The driver commutes 42 miles one way,
This is really specific.
highway
Well,
driven.
it's a pretty good situation because he daily drives it that many miles every day, to and from work, on just a regular Dodge Dart. That's kind of fun because it's a manual and that's about it. But he says he wants to turbo it because it'll make it more fun or add more power.
It'll give, more
Even though-
passing power, stuff like that.
Even though he definitely doesn't need it, in my opinion. I'm totally against it because he doesn't need it because it already has enough power to be on the highway. There's no problems merging onto the highway, and then
So
you're
you-
just adding unreliability to
So
it.
what you're looking at is if he adds this modification, it's gonna completely deteriorate the reliability of the car, and he's looking at it's gonna be more capable and it's gonna be more fun. So it's that's pretty much the balance that you have to look at when you're considering stuff like this all the time, because if it reduces the reliability enough and it's your daily driver, then it's it's not really a daily driver anymore.
Right.
It's a day driver because you get to drive it one day out of the week and you're working on it the rest of the days of the week. It's almost just the folly of being a car guy. It's you just have to mess with stuff.
On the weekends, you gotta play with it.
Yeah. So it's
Especially if it had a Holly carb.
and somebody like Ivan, it's he has mechanical know-how, so it's he knows what he's getting into, and if it starts breaking, at least he'll be able to work on it himself instead of bringing it to the Dodge dealership every week and paying thousands of dollars for them to try to fix it.
Well, and plus, if it's a modified vehicle, a lot of them won't want to touch it.
Yeah.
It's just whenever you add any kind of modification to your car, you're basically adding points of unreliability to it.
Well, you're
And
adding
so-
stress to the engine, so
That
it's
too, yeah.
if it's not already able to handle more stress, then it's that's very quickly a negative thing. It's
Yeah.
it's like adding turbo to an engine that is already weak. It's you don't want to add 20 pounds of pressure to a Iron Duke engine or something. It's it's already shitty. You're gonna make it way worse by adding a bunch of pressure on it.
Yeah, and then
Right.
it really comes down, I guess, to your situation on whether or not you have extra cars or something to take you to work. Because, in his situation, if he's driving 40 miles to work and then it goes bad, on the side of the road, he breaks down, and then he's got to get it home, and then he has to work on his turbo or whatever, because now it's got a boost leak or something that he doesn't know, and so he has to try to fix it.
Yeah.
And so now he can't really go to work because his daily driver to get to work is now unreliable. And so it depends on your situation and whether or not you got that extra car or something to get you to work, because I doubt anyone's going to want to drive you 40 miles to work. Or Uber would be very expensive.
Well, then the other problem though too is like even if you can work on your own stuff, you still might run into a problem like what you ran into, you know, where it's like you basically just try to like take it apart and like see what's wrong with it, but you know, now you have an engine that's like completely blown apart and you're like buying parts for yourself, and like you got to figure out what parts you want and all this stuff and put it all back together. So it's like you're at the mercy of suppliers, like getting those new parts. You know, like you have a full-time job still. It's not like we all have full-time day jobs where it's like, you know, it's taken away from time that we could be using to like fix all this shit. Like you don't just have like
car boys too.
Yeah, you don't have like infinite amount of time to like work on stuff. So it's like
And you also
there goes
don't-
your weekend.
Some people don't have the advantage of having hashtag support truck available for them to
Yeah,
use.
not everybody has an Ivan. So then you're just really
Who works for donuts.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good like overview of some of the things that you should consider before you start really digging into your car.
So there's a lot.
Anytime you increase the performance, you're harder on parts, you're harder on your engine.
There's a lot going on there. But however, on the flip side, you can make a lot more power off of something simple like a turbo or a supercharger or something that you can like slap on
Yeah.
to make more power, and
I was
it
just
would be
thinking
a lot
that.
more fun, like doing exhaust stuff. Like that's pretty simple.
Well, I was just
for the
thinking
most
about
part.
that,
and
like-
then you can make it louder, more fun, or something. Whenever you're just daily driving, so that way you're not so bored just listening to the radio or something, your local radio station that sucks.
You have to be into it. You have to be like
Yeah, you have
into
to-
the hobby of it and just like
And the know-how.
you just
basically.
I guess. I mean, you don't really technically need to know how, but you need to have deeper pockets if you don't know how.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, you gotta pay somebody.
It's fun and stuff, and it can
Not
be
everybody
nice,
works for
but it's
donuts.
also not nice a
Well,
lot.
that's
so.
why I'm like kind of moving in the direction of like, you know, being okay with where my Challenger is at right now and like not really doing a whole lot more like performance stuff to it, because it's like I don't really want to like reduce the reliability any further than it is, which I don't
Right.
really know if I could.
That's
do that
That's
without-
what I'm trying to do with the GTO is just stroke it, and then that was it. After that, I'm done with the engine.
And then, you know, the other thing is you can't really use the full potential of it on the street because that's illegal.
Yeah.
And the racetrack, the closest racetrack to us, if you want to go drag racing, you know, is what, 50 some miles?
Yeah.
And then it costs how much to race every weekend?
$40.
So it's like-
$50. It's pretty expensive. Gets expensive quickly.
Right.
Just driving there.
If you get a ticket, it's expensive. So
The fuel.
what do you want to do?
Yeah, it's definitely just a debate upon everyone's different situations.
Yeah,
Because-
well, and then some people probably have a completely different idea on what is reliable. Like,
yeah.
what do you consider reliable? You know, it's like, well, if I can turn it on and I can go to like my work that's like 5 miles away, then that's all I need. You know, like, and then other people are probably gonna say, you know, you need to be able to take it on like a 200 or 300 mile trip without having to worry about it in order for it to be reliable. Which
That's kind of where I am.
that's kind of where I'm at too. Like, I would say like I want to be able to go to like
California.
Flagstaff or California or something with my car and not have to worry about it, which would make me already say that my car is not reliable because I don't trust
I'm like,
it. Because like, you know, I have a
because then if you go and then you get stuck halfway and you have to get a tow truck home, that's gonna cost so much money.
well, dude, it's like when I took my Javelin to San Diego. I took my old ass muscle car with the carburetor and all that stuff, and I went to San Diego from Phoenix, And I got there and my exhaust manifold, or my exhaust gasket blew out, so it was loud as fuck the entire time. And then I drove back, and then halfway on the way back, my voltage regulator blew out. So it was overcharging my battery. Almost ran my battery completely dry. Like, I had all these little issues. Thankfully, I got back home okay, but that's far from what I would consider reliable. It's scary, and I think I ran the engine pretty much dry of oil at some point too. Thank you for watching our extremely long video about the reliability and performance upgrades.
Hope you enjoy it.
Check out our other video. That's going to be right here.
I'm gonna put it on the other side every time you do that.
Next to the other side of my face.
Put it over his face.
Right here. It's like on your. Yeah,
That's why they go like this.